What up, YouTube? Update time. A lot of shit happened since the last update, man. I got the truck pretty much together, started getting my gauges in, got the seats in temporarily to take it for a test drive. Pretty much got everything together. And we took it for a test drive, the first test drive. I've taken it for little test drives around the block in my neighborhood before. But we took it for a longer test drive, like maybe 10-15 minutes, and halfway into the test drive there, like, we heard a explosion, and there was radiator fluid everywhere. So then I tried to limp it home. The motor started knocking, I thought. So the motor locked over. I towed it back to my house with a chain. Then I was just tired of looking at it, so I had it towed down here to my tattoo shop. And here it sat for like 2 weeks. And then I actually tried to turn it over just to see what would happen, and it started right up. No knocks, no nothing. What I figured out was the computer actually shut the motor off when it got hot, because my temperature gauge wasn't working. My manual temperature gauge wasn't working, and so it runs perfect. I mean, I didn't blow the motor up, thank God. So yeah, the temperature gauge, I ran into the bottom hose, and the temperature gauge wasn't working. So I figured it was the thermostat. So I took the thermostat completely out, and the water's circulating. But the hose on the side that blew was still bulging, and it might still be. And what happened was, I think I just had massive air in the system, because I ran it, and then I opened the top, and nothing but air came out, and I filled it, and it took almost a gallon of fluid, and air was bubbling out as I ran it. So it had almost a gallon of air in there. So pretty sure that's what the problem was. I haven't drove it again since I did that, but it was up to temperature, and that gauge, or that hose, wasn't bulging anymore. So I think I fixed that problem. It's been a while. Here it is, sitting in my shop. Got the light bar on. I don't have it hooked up yet, but and here's the hose on this side here, the intake, the in hose that was swelling and blew up on me. But yeah, and I actually hit a curb too when I was turning in, when the car died on me. So I gotta, like, I kicked that back in a little bit. I gotta kind of pound that back in. Got my little rearview mirrors on the outside here. This one, it's even kicked all the way in, you can't see shit. It's pretty worthless, but it's on there. And the driver's side one I can see. Got this light bar in here. I need to wire it up, but that thing's bright as shit. Here it is in the shop. Got my bed in there. I have to put the nuts and bolts in there, and then I have to put this cut the little hole for this latch so it'll latch down, and then put the other latch on there and cut the hole for that one, and then it'll latch down. Got my exhaust pipes in. I don't know if you guys seen that last time. Exhaust tips, I should say. Welded them in, painted that stuff with a body undercoating paint. Got my brake lights in, got my reverse lights in, but not hooked up. So I got the brake lights in. I don't have the turn signal part of them hooked up yet. I will. And then the license plate, I've got these little, like, they're little lights that are actually nuts with wires on them, and I ran them, and it just has 2 LEDs for the license plate light there. So oh, and the windshield and the back window. So that's a whole nother fucking deal. So I went through, because I was having problems with that windshield popping up on me. This is the 3rd fucking time I've done it, man. I took this windshield out. I fucking sanded down like 1.5 inches all the way around this thing. Like, sanded it with like hunter grit. It was like rough. Taped it off. I painted it. Let it dry. I scuffed the paint on the backside. Then I did it again. I sealed it and put it in. Well, you can see, popped right out the next day. Just will not hold, man. This shit, I don't know. I tried the primer and everything, man. That motherfucker will not hold. So what I'm getting ready to do today, actually it looks like ass because all the paint had actually pulled up. Like the paint won't even stick to it. So it looks like shit, kind of. But what I'm gonna do today is I'm just gonna bolt this motherfucker in, man. I'm just gonna run bolts, like self-tappers, right in there, and just tap it in. I don't give a fuck, you know? At least it'll be in there and it'll be held. It probably won't look the greatest, but it won't look the worst. Maybe it'll match these little rivets here and be all right. Same with the back. Back's starting to pop out too. See it? It's in there more solid, like it hasn't popped out yet, but you can see it's lifted. You can't even paint this shit. I just don't even know what to fucking do, man. So all that shit's getting bolted in, done deal. Done worrying about it. And let's see, I repainted everything in here, like when I kind of scuffed it, repainted everything. Let's see here. Yeah, I scuffed it, repainted everything with that's actually like that bed liner, but I just scuffed it and then painted it with a spray can. And then I made that little gauge panel here. Let's see. Yeah, I made that little gauge panel out of some sheet metal, marked it out, bead rolled it, made a little bracket in there for them to attach to, and I got them in there. So, and I got my seats just kind of, they're bolted in, so, but just not all the way and not great, you know, just for a little test drive. So I got my stereo. I got to start installing all that stereo, my subs going there. Got to do my amps back behind the seat, and I kind of needed this in here to know how much room I got back there to mount those amps, which I got quite a bit. And that's where I'm at with it. Got to get me another steering wheel. Gonna try to find like a banjo steering wheel. I've got the case for that. I got to paint that, put that on to cover all that shit up, and then yeah, get my snap top made, and I should be good to roll. I've also got like a major fucking air hose leak, like somewhere in the engine up here on this side. I can't find it yet. I'm gonna get some starting fluid and kind of spray it around there and try to find that leak, but it's a monster fucking leak, dude, and that's kind of making it idle a little fucked up and shit like that, and run a little shitty. I mean, it runs good, but you can just tell it's I mean, that air leak is loud as fuck. So I'm gonna try to find that, track that down, fix that, and just little shit, man. I got a Dynamat this side over here, and I gotta weld a little bit of metal back in that corner there. But I just kind of waited to do that because I want to put a piece of metal at an angle like this and weld it to the back to the floor so I can mount my amps to it. So I kind of waited on doing that. See, I got to cover where that hole is there. So I'm going to do that next and just kind of get this thing roadworthy and start driving it every day, man. I got another project at home. I bought a 2001 Chevy Astro van, so I'm going to put a roll pan on that, air ride on that, and you know, paint it, use it as a shop truck. So I kind of want to get this done and rolling. I'm also going to put the shop logo on the side there over that fleur-de-lis I did. But for now, that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching.